Dee asks, for many years I tried to surrender and accept what life throws at me. I don't seem to work, and I often feel taken advantage of as a result. I feel that maybe it's toleration rather than surrender. What do you suggest? Kind regards, Dee. Yeah, thanks, Dee. You see, this is what I mean when it's always the person that's playing its game. So if you've been a character which is taken advantage of and wasn't taught to erect appropriate boundaries and learn and say what it wants and what it doesn't want, then your version of surrender is going to be to allow that game, which most probably is seeking, and it creates immense problems in your life. Yeah, you'll always feel taken advantage of. The taking advantage of is, part of the story of you, which is trying to be loved by people that most probably have low empathy and are looking to you to service their wants. And it's part of the story of this, a particular form of character that could be a rescuer or could be a victim, dependent on how you see it. So there's certain types of characters that when they grow up, they don't get taught boundaries, and they get taught to always be serving other people's needs. And the more that you serve other people's needs over your own, the more you will be rewarded with love. This is highly unsatisfactory. It does it's not a healthy game, and in it you will feel very empty, very unseen, very unsatisfied, and you will feel used. But your mind will not be narrating those stories to you. Your mind will be very interested on serving the other people to remain, so you can remain having intimacy and a relationship with them. If you don't do it, the person won't continue a relationship with you. They've selected you because you serve them. You serve their needs and you focus on their needs. So when you come to non-duality or spirituality, you're like, great, I can just surrender and just let the outside dictate. You'll be swarmed with people that are using you, that are only interested in getting their own needs met and not wanting to reciprocate that. And you'll keep playing out that game, and you'll think you're being spiritual because in some part of it, it's like falling on your sword. It's like, I sacrifice myself for you. But again, all of this is unconscious. It's a very, very, very painful game to play. And this is why it's important to go to therapy, because if you're in therapy and you have a good therapist, which it seems there's so many therapists that aren't that great out there, then they will be able to point this game out to you, and you'll be able to see that you're playing this role, the rescuer and the perpetrator role and the victim role, the the drama triangle. Yeah. And they will encourage you to try different strategies with humans, to engage with humans that are interested in your needs. But that will be immensely scary at first, to be around someone that's interested in your needs. You'll be like, I'm going to die. It will feel unbearably uncomfortable. You'll be much more comfortable around those that ignore your needs. Yeah. That could be, but I mean, like, I'm just saying this from very far out, and that's guesswork. It could be that your story is the opposite, and you are somebody that does the opposite. Is only in relationship with people that look after your needs. It's hard to, unless I talk to you, I can't really diagnose. But maybe in me retelling that story, it helps someone. I don't know for you particularly, Dee, if that's appropriate narration for you. But it's, again, this is what therapy is, and why it's important to go to therapy, to work out who you are on the character level and what games you're up to, and to try and live the most healthiest games and the least neurotic, and the ones that are most expansive. A lot of people mix up therapy and non-duality and think that I've got to sort out all these things and become healthy to get to non-duality, which isn't true. Often you need to calm your character down and see through the illusions of you to not keep playing those games in order to have space to see non-duality. You know, when you're so involved in like trying to make someone else happy, you're just in the horizontal line of like running around, like if you don't, you're going to die. Whereas once you see that game, it's not that you see it and then you surrender, it's just that naturally happens. You know, fear arises when you're around somebody with lower empathy, that if you don't serve them, then you're going to die. And then there's a noticing of that and there's not a moving from that. But not because you're doing it, because there is no you to do it. It's because that's what's happened now. There isn't the urge to run away from the feelings because the feelings aren't seen as your enemy. You know, when feelings are really embraced and there's no separation from the feeling, then they're as free as everything else. It's hard, you know, not seeing someone, whether they understand or not. But, you know, sometimes I'm answering a question for one person and then somebody else gets what I mean by it. And sometimes you have to listen to quite a few of my talks to understand, you know, the way in which I'm talking. So this is complete and utter surrender, but it's not your surrendering. It's an undoing of an illusion. And it seems like the illusion is undoing itself, but in another way, like it's a happening. Like I'm speaking and there's an undoing happening. Someone else speaks and there's an undoing. There's an experience of life and an undoing happens, but it's nobody's undoing. Because all there is this moment. This moment. And then there will be a shift at some point from totally identified with the horizontal of you, and then the moving forward, the vertical line of this moment. And then there will be an identification or non-identification with this moment. That will be the present, that will be the forefront of everything. So it'll feel like this moment is acting rather than you are acting. But yet there will still be a character, and there can still be a character that has a tendency to serve narcissists or be the rescuer. I, as a character, have a tendency to rescue. Somebody presents a problem in front of me and I'm like desperate to get out my cape, you know, my shoulder is twitching, my cape is locked away in its cabinet, and I'm like, ooh, present me a problem. I must help them. So that's a tendency of this character, but it's known, and sometimes it gets acted out. Sometimes before I know it, the cape's on and I'm flying through the air to rescue the person. And then a lot of the time it's just that urge arises and it doesn't get acted out. You know, that's what I was trained in childhood. I was trained to be a rescuer. So that's the tendency. And maybe I even got born with it as well. Yeah. But that's not who you are. That is not who's acting. That is not who's speaking. That is the character that's appearing here with this body. It comes with these habits and conditionings. Who we are is this beingness that's right now. And I'm not saying this is a sale pitch. What the hell am I selling to you? Yeah, you can join my book club. Yeah, I can make money off that. I can make money off you joining something else. But if I really wanted to sell you something, I would do such a better job at having something to actually sell. How can I really be selling you this beingness? Like, I'm so passionate about it. It's the freedom. Like, it's really not my motivation to sell you something. This is freedom. This beingness is the freedom. Everything is arising from that now. Everything. Not from a character in time. Yeah, thank you.